Hi and welcome back to my channel. In this video today, I will be showing you how I turned this bullet journal page into a printable planner page in Canva. So this here is a bullet journal page from a couple of years ago, but I had the idea to take the bullet journal pages and turn them into printable planner pages. Head to canva.com. Once you're logged in, head to the left side panel. You're going to create a new document and click on Create. In the left side panel, I'm going to head to Custom Size. And this document is going to be landscape format. And first what we want to do is change the units. If you click the drop down, we're going to change it to inches. The width will be 11 inches by 8.5 inches. And once you do that, click Create New Design. So all I did was took a picture of the bullet journal page and I uploaded it to Canva and put it on the document. So now what I'm going to do is use this image as a reference to create the printable planner page. So the components of this page is the date, which is in the upper left hand corner, the habit tracker at the top, and then floral graphics around. I'm going to click on my image and head to the upper toolbar to transparency. When I click on that, I'm going to reduce its transparency. So before we get designing, I'm just going to kind of explain the habit tracker. So because in the original notebook, this layout was spread across 2 pages. On the left hand side of the page, I had the habits that I was going to track and a table with Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And then on the right hand side, I had a table with Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then I had just used some floral stickers along the sides of the page. And the center part here was left blank where I could put what I wanted to do for each day within this week. So now I'm going to click on my reference photo and head to the upper toolbar to transparency. I click on that, I can adjust this transparency by using the slider bar. So I'm pretty much going to keep the same layout with the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday table on the left hand side and the rest of the days of the week on the right hand side. We actually won't be able to use a table to create this planner page. And I had forgotten about that since it's been a while since I was designing these pages. So I'm pretty sure what I did last time was had different rectangles and lines and pieced it together to make it appear as though it was a table. So what I'm going to use to create this table is a rectangle with a solid color and a border, 2 thin white rectangles, and then 2 lines. Press R on your keyboard to bring up a rectangle. So I'm going to reduce the size of the rectangle by using this node at the bottom and dragging it up. And then to make sure it's the same size, I'm going to take the rectangle and match it up with the table on the page. And I'm going to turn the transparency of the image down more. With the rectangle selected, I'm going to go to the upper toolbar and click on Stroke Style and choose the solid border. And I'm going to make it a little bit thinner. By using the slider bar, I can reduce it, or I can type the number I want the stroke weight to be. So I'm going to turn up the transparency on the image again. I just want to adjust the color of this rectangle. So I'm going to click on the rectangle and in the upper toolbar, head to the color picker. And under document colors, click on add a new color. And in the bottom right corner of the color picker, there's an eyedropper. If you click on that, it'll allow you to move the dropper around and pick any color that's in the document. So I'm going to move the dropper into one of these pink lines to get the color that I'm looking for. So now it's time to add in our thin white rectangles. Press R on your keyboard to bring up a rectangle. And I'm going to adjust it so it's as thin as this spacing here. With the rectangle selected, I'm going to head up to the color picker and change its color to white. And so now what I'm going to do is take the thin white rectangle, move it on top of the rose colored one, and then I'll just make this rectangle wider so that it fits the rose colored rectangle. With the white rectangle selected, I'm going to hit Ctrl D on my keyboard to duplicate it. So then I just took that rectangle and moved it slightly underneath the first one. With the first rectangle selected, I'm going to select the second one. So if you press and hold Shift and click on the other item you want selected, now both of these rectangles are selected. And what I'm going to do is move them until they're in the middle of the rose colored rectangle. So I know they're in the middle of this rectangle because the horizontal and vertical dotted pink lines show up. So once they're in the center, I'll just let them go. And so now we have the base for our table. You can always select everything and move it up to the reference photo if you want the spacing to be the same. So now all I need is these two lines here. So I'll just press L on my keyboard. And in the upper toolbar, I'm going to click on Stroke Style, and I'm going to reduce the stroke weight. So the rectangle has a stroke weight of 2, and I'm just going to change the line to a stroke weight of 2. And so now this line needs to be rotated so it's vertical instead of horizontal. And underneath the line, if you click on the rotate icon, you can rotate your line. And you want to rotate it until it's 90 degrees. And this line also needs to be made smaller. So if you go to the top of the line, click, hold, and drag, you can make the line smaller. If you press and hold Shift while you're making a line smaller, it'll keep it straight. And then all I'm going to do is match it up with the reference photo. And once you have your first line placed, you can hit Ctrl D on your keyboard to duplicate it. And then you would just move that second line to where it needs to go. So now we have our table. And all I would do for the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, on the upper right hand side, I would just make the main rectangle and the white rectangles longer and then add in another line. So I'm actually going to lock this reference photo so I can select the table, copy it, and make adjustments to it. So I just made a selection rectangle around the table, and I'm going to hit Ctrl D on my keyboard to duplicate it. And then I'll just move this to the right hand side, and I'm going to line it up with this first rectangle. And also what I need to do is rotate this duplicated rectangle. For the Saturday and Sunday columns, I made those a little bit smaller than the main days of the week. So again, using that rotate icon underneath the rectangle, I'm going to rotate it until it's 180 degrees. And so now the smaller column is on the far right, and I'm going to move the entire table over to the right so it matches up. So now I have to make this rectangle a little bit longer to accommodate the one extra day in the week. So now I'm going to make a selection rectangle around both the left and the right side table, and I'm going to move it up until it matches with my reference photo. So now I'm going to do the tables for the bottom for our night tasks. So now it's time to add in the letters for the days of the week. Press T on your keyboard to bring up a text box. Once that text box comes up, I'm going to put in S for Sunday. I'm going to take it and move it above the Sunday column. And usually what I like to do if I'm going to be copying and pasting anything, I make sure that it is how I want it. So as far as the font or the size, and then I'll copy and paste. And so now I'm just going to take this text box, duplicate it a few times, and then put the rest of the letters for the days of the week. And when I'm placing the text boxes, I'm just kind of putting them in the center, or where I think the center of each column is. So now I'm going to put some lines on the side for our different tasks. So I'm just going to take one of the lines in our table, click on it, and click Ctrl D to duplicate it. And so now I have to rotate this line so that it's horizontal instead of vertical using our rotate icon. And I'm going to head up to the upper toolbar and click on Stroke Style. I'm going to change the stroke weight to 1. And I'm also going to change it to match the color of the main rectangle in the table. Before I do that, I'm going to add in all of my lines. And so all I'm going to do is put a line under each row within the tables. And so here's what we have so far. And so now what I'm going to do is change the color of these lines to match the rectangle. So I'm going to use the selection rectangle by clicking with the mouse and dragging over everything I want selected. And once that's selected, head up to the upper toolbar and click on stroke color. And then I'm going to click on the color that I've used for the rectangle. And so I'm most likely going to leave the top part where the date is blank, so that way when you purchase it, you'll be able to write in whatever month this is for. I lowered the transparency again of my reference photo. I want to keep it up here so I can kind of see where I placed those stickers when I did the bullet journal page. So now what I'm going to do is find the graphics that I'm going to use for this page. So I'm probably going to use a mixture of elements and graphics that I've uploaded to Canva myself. So if you head to the left side toolbar, you can go to Elements, and you can search in Elements whatever graphics you're looking for. And also in the left side panel, there's a spot for Uploads, where you can upload files to Canva, or you can use files that you've already uploaded to Canva and use in your design. So here's our bullet journal page turned into a printable planner page. You can decide to leave this bottom part of the page blank, or you can add lines. And so all I'm going to do is grab these lines up here. I'm just going to grab these top 5. I'm going to hit Ctrl D on my keyboard to duplicate them. And I'm going to take the duplicate copy and move it into the bottom. And once I have those where I think I want them, I'm going to take this node and lengthen the lines by clicking, holding, and stretching. With those lines selected, I'm going to press Ctrl D again on my keyboard. I'm going to take the duplicate copy and move it up closer to the other set. And with these lines still selected, if I hit Ctrl D on my keyboard, it's going to duplicate these lines, but put them directly where they need to go. And once you're done with your planner page, now it's time to download it. Head to the upper right hand corner and click on Share. Click on Download. For the file type, choose PDF Print. And I'm going to flatten this PDF, so I'm just going to check the box next to it. And it says that flattening your PDF converts content of the design into a single image per page. It may increase the file size. Under Select Pages, I'm just going to select this page, which is page 6. So I'm just going to click on Current Page. And once you do that, hit Done, and then click Download. If you want to get your hands on this printable planner sheet, I will have it linked in my YouTube product shelf. So this concludes the video on how to take a bullet journal page and turn it into a printable planner page. If you found this video helpful, let me know by hitting the like button. Subscribe for more videos like this, and hit the bell to be notified when I upload a new video. Remember to check the description box for any resources that may have been mentioned in the video. And as always, thanks for watching.